breaking news and so much more is Mike Davis now, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. He joins us on the phone. Mike, good to have you back, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So it's amazing. So Stormy Daniels can try and, take some body blows against Trump all week in the course of multiple days of testimony, but Trump's not allowed to even say her name now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that this Democrats Manhattan judge, Juan Merchan, who donated to Biden in 2020 and another anti-Trump cause, and whose adult daughter, Lauren Merchan, is raising millions of dollars off this unprecedented trial over which her father is presiding, requiring his recusal under New York statute, is gagging a criminal defendant. This is clearly unconstitutional. It's clearly illegal. This judge is threatening to put Trump in jail if he mentions Lauren Merchan, or if he mentions that Matthew Colangelo deployed from the Biden Justice Department, a senior Biden political appointee, the number 3 in the Justice Department, and a former DNC political consultant and a former Obama White House and Justice Department official who's now in Soros-funded Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office to lead this bogus case against Trump. Everyone sees that it's bogus. Trump can't mention his name, or Judge Merchan is threatening to put him in jail. Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, their star witnesses. Michael Cohen is a convicted perjurer and disbarred attorney who is making money on TikTok trashing Trump. Stormy Daniels, a porn star, is peddling her porn sites on Twitter while she's trashing Trump. Trump can't respond to either of those bimbos. And number 5, Trump can't even mention that the Manhattan jury pool voted 87% for Joe Biden. Judge Merchan has threatened to put Trump in jail for that. This is clearly illegal. It's a vague, overbroad, illegal, unconstitutional gag order.
It's insane
That this judge and prosecutor, Soros prosecutor Bragg and Biden prosecutor Colangelo, have put on Trump. Frankly, it is a criminal conspiracy under federal civil rights laws, 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against rights. They are illegally taking away President Trump's First Amendment rights.
It's insane. And he's not threatening anybody. That's the language that they keep dressing this up in. Oh, he's imperiling the lives of all of these people. How? By defending himself? This is turning the entire justice system and specifically the Constitution on its head. And let me add to the list of people you just put out that are all compromised in this. There's another prosecutor on this team called Susan Hoffinger who donated to Joe Biden's 2020 presidential campaign as well and was one of the prosecutors leading the Stormy Daniels questioning this week. So this is a hit squad of Democrats who are Biden donors and former Biden employees, for that matter. And we're all supposed to act like this is the normal administration of justice.
And what's so bad about this jury pool is already 87% for Joe Biden. And this judge, Merchan, again, whose daughter's fundraising off this thing and who donated to Biden, and Matthew Colangelo, this Biden prosecutor, and this Soros prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, they rigged the jury selection process. They struck potential jurors who follow Trump on social media, but they didn't strike potential jurors who follow Biden. So they found like the 3 people in Manhattan who actually follow Trump on social media and then got.
Yeah. Did I lose you? You still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. But yeah, the jury questionnaire asked them, do they have Truth Social? What kind of jury questionnaire would ask you if you have Truth Social, unless you were aiming to try and exclude anybody who might support Trump?
Yeah, there's no look. This is obviously a rigged process. They can't even tell President Trump what their legal theory is. Now 4 weeks into the criminal trial, they don't know what the legal theory is, right?
Yeah.
And so how the hell can President Trump defend himself legally if he doesn't know what the legal allegations are against him? How can he defend himself against these witnesses like Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels who are trashing him? Look, they're the ones who should be subject to a gag order. The whole point of a gag order is to protect the criminal defendant, to make sure that he gets a fair trial. It's a limited time, place, and manner restriction on First Amendment rights to protect the constitutional rights of a criminal defendant. They've turned this on its head. This started under Roger Stone. They gagged Roger Stone, and these Democrats Democrat prosecutors and judges are clearly violating these criminal defendants' First, Sixth, and 14th Amendment rights by gagging them like this. Look, if Trump were truly threatening the judge or the staff or the prosecutor or the witnesses, charge him with obstruction of justice, charge him with witness tampering. But you don't put this overly broad and vague prior restraint on his First Amendment rights, especially a criminal defendant who's running for the president of the United States.
So we are still awaiting Trump's remarks, expected shortly. When Trump steps up to a microphone, do you think he should violate the gag order today? Do you think he should just talk about what he heard in that courtroom from Stormy Daniels and why it's so utterly corrupt?
Selfishly, I would love for President Trump to get up there and say, Judge Merchan, go F yourself and your daughter, Lauren Merchan, and Matthew Colangelo and Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, and this Biden jury pool that you picked. I'm not the one who would go sit in the jail, but if these goofballs in New York actually put President Trump in jail, they're going to turn him into Nelson Mandela. He will win by a landslide on November 5th. He'll win by like 4 points, maybe more.
So let's talk about the Stormy testimony. So she does 2 days of testimony in this trial this week, Tuesday and Thursday, today. And over the course of it, she details a bunch of allegations about what she claims was a consensual sexual relationship that she had with Trump. A one-night stand is what she was alleging. And asked today whether she has any knowledge whatsoever about the underlying criminal allegations. Do you know anything about Trump's business records? She said the following, quote, I know nothing about his business records. No, why would I? In other words, why is she even a witness to this trial, Mike Davis?
John brings his skewed sense of humor. Jeff brings tips to cut strokes off your next round. Together, it's those weekend golf guys.
They'll pay a lot of money to PXG and Titleist and Callaway and on and on and on, right? How many yards do you think you're going to pick up with that extra driver? I think I can get an extra 5 to 10. What if I give you 15 to 20? You pay me more.
Jeff Smith teaches on a sliding scale.
Those Weekend Golf Guys, the podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
For decades, Bayer has worked with farmers across America to help them meet the demand for abundant, affordable food. One way is through glyphosate, sold as Roundup and made by us. Not only do we stand behind the product's safety, so do all the leading safety and regulatory bodies around the world. But the litigation industry fights to prevent rigorous safety analysis from being shown in court. Instead, they rely on junk science to mislead juries. Why should anyone care? Because the impact of the courtroom will be felt at every dinner table in America. Without Roundup, farm yields will go down, farmers' costs will go up, and food prices will rise even more. Farming has never been easy. If farmers lose a critical tool, they will face even harder choices: grow less food or rely on foreign supplies of the product. What's at stake isn't a product or a company. It's fundamental American values and interests. Learn more at go.bayer.com/open letter. Paid for by Bayer.
That's the point. It's not relevant at all. But not only is her testimony not relevant under 401 of the Rules of Evidence, it is unfairly prejudicial under Rule 403. Even this partisan hack Biden donor judge realized that Stormy Daniels and Matthew Colangelo went too far when they went into excruciating detail about this alleged encounter that frankly never happens. I mean, and think about what she said. She blacked out during this thing and doesn't remember everything. It kind of reminds me of Christine Blasey Ford. Remember, she doesn't know how she got there. She doesn't know how she got home. She doesn't remember anything, but she knows that she only had one beer and it was Brett Kavanaugh. These women are lying through.
Yeah, well, the one of Trump's attorneys today was almost mocking Stormy Daniels. Like, really? You've done over 200 pornographic films, and you almost fainted when you say you saw Donald Trump in his boxers? Like, what is she even talking about?
I mean, Donald Trump probably liked that testimony. I mean, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Look, even if Trump did what she alleged that he did, there's still no crime. It is not a crime for a businessman to settle a nuisance claim and have your bookkeeper and your lawyers book it in your accounts as a legal expense. I've been a lawyer for almost 20 years. I've represented clients for a long time. That's how you settle these nuisance claims.
Yeah.
They are legal expenses. And to take a 2006 incident, allegedly, and then a settlement claim in 2016 and put it in the books in 2017 and saying that bookkeeping in 2017 somehow affected the election in 2016, this is an absurd case on its face. And look, this is what these Democrats need to remember. This is Donald Trump. He's been in the public eye for like 50 years. People know we're not canonizing St. Donald of Manhattan when we elect him on November 5th, 2024. So if you think you're going to smear him, look, if this were Mike Pence, this trial would be devastating, right? It would destroy his credibility among conservatives. We're dealing with Donald Trump. People don't care. They expect this kind of stuff.
Let me make sure I understand. There was a date that you mentioned I just wanted to get my head around. They claim that the bookkeeping occurred in 2017. That was the year?
Yes. This was put in the books in 2017.
Okay, so
somehow that accounting in 2017 affected the election in 2016, and it was somehow a campaign finance violation.
That's insane.
But they're not quite sure that's their legal.
And also, even if the dates were irrelevant, we went through the Access Hollywood scandal. Like, that was like, why would this be a huge deal compared to? I mean, the whole thing is so stupid, honestly, and it's just it's purely tyrannical what we're seeing playing out in this court right now. You know, the judge you keep mentioning how corrupt this guy is and what a Democrat he is and how he's big Biden. He's a Biden donor and all these things. The judge I think they're in the process of hearing whether or not a mistrial can be declared as a result of all of this insane Stormy Daniels testimony. My guess is that the judges are going to deny him again right now. But in your view, this trial should be thrown out, I would assume.
Yeah, but remember, this judge clearly does not care if this case is reversed on appeal. This judge's sole goal, Alvin Bragg's sole goal, Matthew Colangelo's sole goal is to label Trump a felon before November 5th, 2024. And they think that is going to change the outcome of the election. What they may not understand is this case is going to backfire on the Democrats. If they label Trump a felon, especially if they try to put him in jail, they're going to guarantee that Trump is back in the White House after November 5th, 2024. This is going to backfire spectacularly, like I have been predicting with you for the last 22 months since the Mar-a-Lago raid, when all this Democrat lawfare and election interference started.
Okay, let me real quickly ask you about a couple of other big legal developments this week. One of them is Judge Eileen Cannon in that document dispute case led by the Biden administration against Trump. She's indefinitely suspended the trial for now because there's too many pretrial motions to get to, including over the fact that Special Counsel Jack Smith may have been unlawfully appointed. That's one of the things that they're taking a look at here. In your view, it sounds like this is a major win for Trump.
Yeah, this is huge, and I'll tell you this. Judge Eileen Cannon is doing what she's supposed to do, which is to protect the criminal defendant's constitutional rights. There is now evidence that Biden, through his deputy White House counsel, Jonathan Sue, worked with the National Archives and the Biden Justice Department, Jay Bratt and Gary Stern, to concoct this Mar-a-Lago raid, to orchestrate this raid, to go get presidential records that Trump was allowed to have under the Presidential Records Act, and to do it under the pretense of the Espionage Act, which does not apply to presidents having their presidential records in the office of former president, which is funded by Congress. That's why Congress gives them federally funded staff with security clearances and Secret Service protection 24/7, 365. This is a political hit. And then you also have evidence before Judge Cannon now that not only did they do a political hit to go get these documents, that once they got the documents, they tampered with the evidence to put out a picture that did not represent the evidence as they found it, right? To put out that shocking photo with all the cover sheets for the classified documents, that was cooked up by the Biden Justice Department, by Jay Bratz in the Biden Justice Department. And this is the same Jay Bratz who allegedly threatened Stanley Woodward, who is Trump co-defendant Walt Nada's co-defendant Walt Nada's attorney.
Yeah.
Essentially, Jay Bratt threatened Stanley Woodward and said, "You're not going to get this D.C. judgeship you're applying for unless Walt Nada cooperates and turns against Trump." This Jake Rat is a thug, and he needs to be chased out of the Biden Justice Department. He needs to be hauled before Congress. If these allegations are true, his ass needs to be in prison.
Mike Davis, can I beg you for a couple extra minutes of your time? Do you have a moment to stay with me?
I do. I have until 5:58.
Oh, make 4:58, I think is what you mean to say, right?
4:58.
Okay, good. Well, that's exactly the time we have. Stay with us. I want to take you on the other side of this break because there's more I need to ask you about. You met with Congress. I have to know what happened there. Hold up. Mike Davis, thanks for staying with us. You met with members of Congress this past week to talk about all of this legal chaos the country's being subjected to. What did you tell them?
Well, I met with the Conservative Opportunity Society, which is comprised of some of the most bold and fearless House Republicans. And my message to them was we need to get the House Judiciary Committee, including that weaponization subcommittee, to step up and do their jobs because we are experiencing republic-ending lawfare by President Biden, Merrick Garland, Jack Smith, Jay Bratt, Jonathan Sue, Matthew Colangelo, Alvin Bragg, Tish James, Fani Willis. It never ends. It's on so many different fronts. The Arizona Attorney General, who just brought a criminal indictment and named Trump as an unindicted co-conspirator. And the reason this lawfare is happening is because these Democrats have been walking through an open door, and I'm tired of it. Jim Jordan, the Weaponization Committee, they must step up and end this republic-ending lawfare. And they need to hold hearings. They need to have staff depositions. They need to issue subpoena after subpoena after subpoena for documents, for witnesses. They need to cut off funding. This is a zero-sum game. When these Biden Democrats are on offense, they're not on defense. And when they're on defense, they're not on offense. Let's get them on defense.
And do you think that they'll take you seriously? Will they be more aggressive than they are now?
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
We're having a real conversation as real estate investors.
New episodes available every day.
It's important to buy where it makes money and not necessarily where you want to travel to.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
The purpose of flipping is to create more cash so then you can reinvest into other types of properties.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
When you partner with Spectrum Enterprise, it all starts with one question. What are your technology goals? Whether you need to virtualize your IT infrastructure, implement a hosted call center for remote support, or get the high-performing connectivity and networking services to power it all. Our teams are here to help because allowing you to operate anywhere is part of what we do best. Visit enterprise.spectrum.com/iHeart to learn more.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see Jim Jordan wake up a little bit. So maybe someone's lighting a fire under his ass, and it could be these Conservative Opportunity Society members.
Well, from your lips to God's ears. Thank you, Mike Davis. Good to talk to you at the Article 3 Project. Thanks for always staying on top.